But we should cut through the sound bites and ask ourselves what sovereignty actually means in the 21st century. For me, it is about being able to seamlessly do work, travel, study, and do business in 27 countries. It is about pooling our strength and speaking together in a world full of great powers. And in a time of crisis, it is about pulling each other up instead of trying to get back to your feet alone. And the European Union shows how this works in practice. And no deal in the world can change reality or gravity in today's economy and today's world. We are one of the giants. Die Europäische Union ist gut auf den Brexit vorbereitet.
The European Union is
Wir wissen,
well
dass dieses
prepared
Abkommen
for
nicht alle
Brexit.
Probleme aus der Welt
Obviously, we're aware of the fact that this agreement isn't going to resolve all problems, and we've been working closely with authorities and business in Europe to ensure that they are well prepared. In our new budget, there is €5 billion ring-fenced to help people and companies that are very much affected by Brexit.
Time to turn the page and look to the future. The United Kingdom is a third country, but it remains a trusted partner. We are long-standing allies. We share the same values and interests, whether it be the COP26 summit in Glasgow or the upcoming UK G7 and Italian G20 presidencies. The European Union and the United Kingdom will stand shoulder to shoulder to deliver on our common global goals. Ce moment marque l'aboutissement d'un long voyage.
And this moment marks the end
incessant, leur endurance, leur professionnalisme. I also want to thank David Frost and Tim Barrow for having been tough but fair negotiating partners. And I'm grateful to all our member states and the European Parliament for their trust and their support. I will now convene the college. And ladies and gentlemen, at the end of a successful negotiations journey, I normally feel joy. But today, I only feel quite satisfaction and, frankly speaking, relief. I know this is a difficult day for some, and to our friends in the United Kingdom, I want to say, parting is such sweet sorrow. But to use a line from T.S. Eliot, what we call the beginning is often the end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. So to all Europeans, I say, it is time to leave Brexit behind. Our future is made in Europe. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, President. Now allow me to give the floor to our Chief Negotiator, Michel Barnier.
Thank you, Madam President, dear Ursula. The clock is no longer ticking. After 4 years of collective effort and EU unity to preserve peace and stability on the island of Ireland, to protect the citizens and the single market, to build a new partnership with the UK. Thank you all. Thank you all. This is the work of so many women and men here in the Commission under your leadership, Madam the President, all the services and in particular the EU task force for the Brexit with Clara Martinez and Paulina Dejmek and all the team, and in the Member States, the Council, the European Parliament. I also pay tribute also to the EU-UK negotiating team and the chief negotiator David Frost and his deputies. This process has engaged so many citizens, businesses, stakeholders, and obviously so many journalists. Thank you for your patience and for your attention. Today is a day of relief, but tinged by some sadness as we compare what came before with what lies ahead. Le Royaume-Uni a choisi de quitter l'Union européenne et le marché unique, de renoncer aux droits et aux avantages d'un État membre. Et notre accord ne réplique pas ces droits et ces avantages. Il y aura donc, malgré cet accord, de vrais changements dans quelques jours, le 1er janvier, pour beaucoup de citoyens et pour beaucoup d'entreprises. C'est la conséquence du Brexit. C'est la conséquence du Brexit. Et nous avons aussi construit un nouveau partenariat pour l'avenir autour de 4 piliers. D'abord, un accord de libre-échange ambitieux et équitable, free and fair trade, fair and free trade, sans tarifs ni quotas. Et au cœur de cet accord, il y a de nouvelles règles du jeu économique, ce qu'on appelle le level playing field, qui seront pour l'Union européenne la marque d'une nouvelle génération pour tous les accords de libre-échange. Deuxièmement, un partenariat économique et social dont le champ est sans précédent. Et il couvre les transports aériens, les transports routiers, l'énergie, la lutte contre le changement climatique, la pêche, où nous avons assuré globalement une base d'accès réciproque aux eaux et aux ressources, avec une nouvelle répartition des quotas et des opportunités de pêche agréées, comme c'est normal, directement entre la présidente de la Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, et le Premier ministre Boris Johnson, compte tenu du nouveau statut d'État côtier indépendant du Royaume-Uni, c'est-à-dire d'un État qui ne fera plus partie, dans quelques jours, de la politique commune de la pêche. Cet accord demandera des efforts, je le sais, mais l'Union européenne sera présente aux côtés des pêcheurs européens pour les accompagner. C'est notre engagement. Notre partenariat comprend aussi une coopération en matière de recherche et d'innovation, de sûreté nucléaire, pour l'espace, dans le cadre des programmes de l'Union. Dans ce domaine, notre partenariat contient aussi une clause de non-discrimination entre les citoyens européens qui s'applique également aux visas, aux services et à la coordination de la sécurité sociale. J'exprime simplement sur ce point 2 regrets, s'agissant de notre coopération sociétale, que le gouvernement britannique ait choisi de ne pas participer au programme d'échange Erasmus et que l'ambition en matière de mobilité des citoyens ne soit pas à la hauteur de nos liens historiques. Là encore, c'est le choix du gouvernement britannique. Le troisième pilier de notre texte concerne la sécurité des citoyens. Nous l'avons toujours dit, notre sécurité, la sécurité des citoyens ne se marchande pas. La lutte contre le terrorisme et le crime nécessite une coopération évidemment étroite entre l'Union européenne et ce grand pays qu'est le Royaume-Uni. Nous allons travailler ensemble dans 8 domaines essentiels et ce travail sera fondé sur 2 préalables, le respect de la protection des droits fondamentaux, le respect des données personnelles. Ici aussi, pour être très franc, dans le monde très incertain et instable dans lequel nous vivons, nous regrettons que le gouvernement britannique n'ait pas voulu négocier, en tout cas pas pour le moment, un accord sur la politique étrangère, la défense et le développement. Enfin, dernier pilier, la gouvernance de cet accord qui est fondé sur le dialogue, la consultation politique, des mécanismes de règlement des différends contraignants, une mise en œuvre crédible dans chacun de nos ordres juridiques, et puis des remèdes, des sanctions, y compris des remèdes unilatéraux, rapides et efficaces quand cela sera nécessaire. Voilà la proposition d'accord qui, comme l'a dit notre présidente, va être présentée au Conseil, qui réunit les 27 gouvernements, et chacun d'entre eux aura la possibilité, la responsabilité de se prononcer, ainsi que le Parlement européen.
4.5 years after the UK chose to leave the European Union, the UK and the EU finally agreeing on a Brexit deal. This is like a Christmas gift to the people of the UK, the end of this long period of uncertainty. The EU Commission Chief, Ursula von der Leyen, describing this as parting is such a sweet sorrow and the clock is no longer ticking. Going straight across now to our London Bureau Chief, Mandy Clark, who's been tracking all those developments for us. Mandy, the two sides have finally agreed on the crucial issue of fishing rights. What more do we know at this point?
What we know is that a deal is done. That is a bit of a Christmas miracle. We were expecting this announcement to come much earlier on today, but there was essentially the fine print that really slowed it down. It was due to the fishing quotas. We know that both sides have released statements now that both saying that it's a great deal for both sides. The EU really, Britain is really focusing on the promises that were made in the 2016 referendum about sovereign rights to over its own judiciary, and they're no longer tethered to European rights. Right, so that was the main focus to appeal the main crowd. European was equally saying that it was a good deal, and more interestingly, that they left it off with, to all Europeans, our future will be made in Europe. So both sides want to put a line under it. They're both saying there'll be a lot of journalists as good as but certainly a big relief for many that trading will continue with freely without quota.
Right, stay with me, Mandy, as we give our viewers a quick sense of what has transpired over the last few hours. Now, we were expecting this announcement to come in a whole lot earlier, but of course it got delayed since the two sides continue to iron out those crucial issues. Cutting back across now to the EU Commission Chief.
Balancing mechanisms that are built in with dispute settlement mechanism to review clauses and an overall review, for example, after 4 years, to see whether both sides play by the rules, that the level playing field is level indeed, and there's the commitment to follow whatever has been agreed in this deal. So from the experience we've had, we built in safeguards that are necessary to make sure that there's a strong incentive for both sides to stick to what they have agreed to.
Thank you so much. I will now give the floor to Verena from DPA. Verena, are you there? So we are waiting for Verena to get connected. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes, Verena, go ahead. Yes, Verena, go ahead.
Great, excellent. Thank you very much for the question, and good afternoon to the President and Mr. Barnier. Given the extreme time pressure toward the end of these negotiations and the deadline being only 7 days away, are you confident that you really safeguarded all the interests of the Union and of its member states? Or did you have to give in to British demands just to avoid disaster a week from now? Thank you very much.
We had a very strong negotiating position. Indeed, you're right, the time was very, very short. At the beginning of the year, we have already said very clearly that for such a comprehensive agreement, 12 months are really short, and on top came COVID. This did not make the negotiations more easy, and therefore it is outstanding what the negotiating team has done and achieved in only 12 months. That is one part, and our negotiating position was as strong because it was the European Union who said very clear, if the United Kingdom wants access to the single market, the largest single market in the world, without quota and without tariffs, then they are, as a sovereign country, free to decide whether they play by the rules, like every other company in the single market too. This is the level playing field. If they do not want to follow the rules, then there will be quota tariffs, so there is a price to pay for that. And as we knew, in any case, if there would have been a hard Brexit, it would not have been good for both sides, but it would have hit the United Kingdom harder than the European Union, with all its might of 450 million citizens. And therefore, from a position of strength, we were able to come forward with the most comprehensive agreement we've ever had. This agreement will write history. If you look at the clear composition of rules that are very distinct to make sure that there's fair play on both sides, that is a very clear, if you want to access the single market, you have to abide to the rules all the other ones are abiding to. And in the fishery field, I think we made a huge step forward and got a very good agreement. So this shows that from a position of strength, you can achieve a lot.
Thank you very much, President. I know that you have to go and inform the college. There is interest for additional questions, but we have a technical briefing where all the questions will be addressed. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us in the European Commission's press room for this press conference, and stay tuned for the technical briefing off the record, which will follow in a few minutes.
After months of negotiations between the UK and the European Union, the two sides finally thrashing out a deal. They have agreed on crucial issues that have remained sticking points over the last few months. We did expect this announcement to come a whole lot earlier, but those issues continue to stick on, and as a result, there was a delay in this announcement coming through. We do expect the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson to now also hold a press conference in just a short while from now at Downing Street to announce this agreement. Officials in Brussels have been finalizing the details of this deal that will now come into force when the UK leaves the European Union trading rules next week. This is a crucial moment, a historic breakthrough between the two sides. Going back across now to our London Bureau Chief, Mandy Clark, who's been with us tracking the very latest. Mandy, as we were discussing, this is of course, coming at a time when the UK has been dealing with the new mutation of the coronavirus, dealing with the border restrictions when it comes to the France freight movement as well. This is like a Christmas gift, the ending of this prolonged uncertainty for the people of the UK. We do expect the Prime Minister of the UK to also address the media. We are standing by for the same.
Yes, indeed. It certainly feels like a Christmas gift. There is a lot of it. Chaos, confusion, the mutant strain, Christmas plans, of course, cancelled because the city went into a Tier 4 lockdown all over the UK. So, yes, welcome news that there is some light at the end of the tunnel, that it looks like the continuation of trade and quotas. That's really good news for many, many British businesses that were deeply concerned that without a deal, they were just left hanging, more chaos. And basically, after seeing the chaos that caused just having the French border closed for those few days, there was deep concerns among businesses. What will this mean? So there is an overwhelming sense of relief that they have managed to thrash out a deal. It is a very upbeat message that we're hearing from the United Kingdom, that they got everything that they wanted out of that deal, with the focus on sovereignty. That was the 2016 referendum way back when they voted to Brexit. Part of that was really focusing on Britain taking back their rights over laws. So you can imagine when Boris Johnson does come out to make a statement, they'll be focusing on what was achieved for the British side. But overall, it seems like both sides are very happy with this new deal. The fishing rights, of course, was the stumbling block, and that was based on quotas. We don't have the fine details yet, but both sides saying it was very successful.
Absolutely. And if the deal was not signed, tariffs would have come into force. That would have had far-reaching implications for both the European Union and the UK, Mandy. if we can just take a step back and explain to our viewers the significance of this moment, which is days to go before the UK leaves the EU, even though it did leave the bloc in January, but officially, given the timing that it had just a few days to go before this agreement was finalized, this is coming at a very crucial juncture, and we do expect the voting to happen on the deal soon.
Yes, it couldn't have been more crucial for the British economy. Of course, when Boris Johnson was talking tough about getting that perfect Brexit deal all the way back in January, it was just almost a year ago that he became Prime Minister. It seems a year seems a very long time ago now. He was talking about getting the best possible deal for Britain. And he said it could easily be done. Of course, we watched the coronavirus take over the global news agenda. The Brexit talks stalled and pretty much stopped for most of the year. So there was a real feeling that that it just wasn't, they weren't going to complete. It was vital, and it is vital for the British businesses and the economy. Of course, the economy took a massive hit because of the global pandemic, but not getting those trades and tariff deal done would have been even more economically devastating after such a very hard year. So it really was essential that deal was done, in any hopes for the British economy to start to recover and revive, because Europe remains one of its most important trading partners where most of the trade happens. So very good news all around for the British economy.
Indeed. Stay with me, Mandy. Just a quick roundup for our viewers who might just be joining us. The UK and the European Union finally have agreed on a deal. This is a crucial breakthrough coming just days before the official withdrawal of the UK from the European bloc. Prime Minister Boris Johnson will be addressing the media in just moments from now. And speaking of which, we have a tweet that the British Prime Minister has put out. That is the sentiment at Downing Street. Rather elated Prime Minister of the UK declaring the deal is done. This comes after several deadlines have come and gone by, with the two sides unable to finalize the agreement and iron out those sticking points. But they have now, and this comes just days before the official withdrawal of the UK from the European Union, with the Brexit trade deal signed. Had this not happened in time, and had this crucial breakthrough not been arrived at, it would have meant that tariffs would have come into force, which would have had far-reaching implications for both the UK and the European Union. So a huge sense of relief for the UK specifically, coming at a time when it's tackling another strain of the coronavirus. It's dealing with those border restrictions and the UK travel curbs owing to that coronavirus threat. So with these negotiations that have prolonged uncertainty for the people of the UK, it's more like a Christmas gift. On Christmas Eve, the UK and the European Union have finally agreed on terms for the trade agreement. In just a few moments from now, we do expect the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson to also deliver an address detailing the specifics of that agreement, especially when it comes to the issue of fishing rights, which has remained a sticking point. But now the two sides have agreed on the modalities of the fishing rights as well. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.